Hey, Bobby Manning here, and this is Watch the Breakdown, where we give you an hour of film in less than 10 minutes. Basketball is back. I'm sorry I didn't give you the Rockets Celtics game. I just wasn't about to break down Jeff Green versus Taco Fall on the wing. Austin Rivers Taco Fall. You can go find that somewhere else on YouTube if you want, but here we're getting back in the real games. High intensity. We saw Pelicans Jazz. We saw that epic ending. LeBron James bouncing back from his 2-10 start to hit the game winner against the Clippers. So now we get our epic matchup on night 2. Bucks Celtics. Bringing this to you on the afternoon here on Sunday right before the Trailblazers game. And the question we've all been asking all year is, why are the Bucks this good? Remember 2017, those Warriors, where everybody said, just quit, throw your hands up, they're the Warriors, we can't even compete. They had a net rating of over 12 at their height that season. This Bucks team, they have a 10.7 this year, as they obviously sit at 54-12 now. The teams just behind them, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Raptors, the Celtics, they're all down at 6. We think of the Lakers, who have beaten the Bucks twice, as a championship contender, and there's still that massive gap between those teams. We know the Bucks beat the Thunder by 50 right before the break, so they come back here, face the Celtics, who we talk about that 10 net rating. Celtics beat them early in the year. They came within 5 on an epic comeback where Kemba Walker had 42 points, and in this one, as you know, 119-112 the final, Celtics come within 7. So what do the Celtics do that makes this matchup so even, where the Bucks have just blown other teams off the floor this year? Should the Bucks be scared of the Celtics if they end up meeting them in the Eastern Conference Finals? Let's get into it. Gordon Hayward, I thought you had an interesting note before this one. I'll let him talk about it here.
You know, the issue with that is that they go under. I think you want to be able to get your screening angle at an angle, so that way you have an open shot, whether it's, you know, right on the three-point line, a couple steps off the three-point line. That's where I said they do a good job of mixing in unders, and sometimes they go under and it should just be, you should bury them, and then that's a wide open three, and it's just a matter of figuring out the angle, being patient as a pick and roll ball handler. Like I said, we got to do a better job setting it up, but some of them, I mean, we got good looks, we just missed it. And that's what they're willing to give up, is basically that dribble pull-up with Lopez back, protecting the rim, and, you know, somebody challenging either from underneath the screen or over the top of the screen. But, you know, I think we play them, you know, the more you play them, the more you can kind of figure it out a little bit better. They're a good defensive team, but I think they're one of the best in the league. That's what they do. So I have confidence in our shooters. I have confidence in myself. I think we step up and knock those down.
What the Bucks do, they slide beneath those screens. Brook Lopez sits back in the post, and he has 6 blocks in this game. You're about to see how far back, how much the Bucks lean back on shooters, whether they're pulling up from the mid-range, pulling up from three-point range. They're willing to let guys get into their shots on a second level. If you get into them, if you kick it out and you come in and attack again, as Brad Stevens is going to talk about in a minute with us here, you're able to get wide open shots against them. Now, this worked for Kemba Walker, who came in hobbling into this one and could only play 20 minutes max, and for Gordon Hayward, who historically hasn't done great against the Bucks. But he ends up scoring 19 points in this one, and it looks like he found that gap in between, especially in that second half. But let's get into this. Start awful. Can't attack them straight on. They'll take those turnovers, they'll take those stops by packing it in, and they will send Giannis out like a rocket ship in transition here. Tatum, 2 for 18 in this one, widely documented. A Bucks own basket was the only reason he didn't finish 1 for 17 in what might have been his worst game in the NBA. And it feeds this epic Bucks run to start this one. So Marcus Smart
deflects it and comes up with a steal. 2-on-1 break for the Celtics. Smart. The scoop layup is good.
In transition, he brings some energy in the middle portion of this one and tries to bring some defense on Chris Middleton, the noted Celtics killer. 67% from the field against them this year. He has a field day against them. We all remember the 37-footer that he hit to tie game 1 of the 2018 quarterfinals. But he's on and off in this one. Get Smart here, off on this shot, and he has a few open looks in this game that he is way off. We'll get to that in a minute. Smart continuing to puzzle defenses. Do you guard him from 3? Do you look for him underneath? Here, the Bucks, who are usually packed in on this. He gets a feed from Brad Wanamaker here, and what a play from Wanamaker. Him and Smart go 12 for 20 in this one. Best game I've seen from Brad Wanamaker in the NBA. And Brad Stevens explained it well yesterday during the walkthrough. The Wanamaker, against this Bucks defense, he gets into the thick of it here, pulls guys in on the dribble, is able to break out and come for a second level attack. Hayward does this late in this game extremely well, but Wanamaker set a tone with these multiple layers of attacking the rim that open up others and himself for big plays. He, off Tice's high action in this one, gets it to go. And look at Daniel Tice. Scrappy plays throughout this one. Gets a stop on Chris Middleton here. And look at how tough he makes it on Brook Lopez, who wants to sit back in the post. I'm not an expert on the Bucks' rotations, but Brook Lopez wasn't playing in crunch time with this one, and Daniel Tice was. And plays like this, I think, are a big reason why. Tice made it tough with his high activity, with his rolling action, even his scrappiness on the boards, double-digit rebounds in this one, made it tough on Lopez, who has been fantastic defensively for the Bucks all year. A guy who we normally think of as a post-up center, and they'll put him in the post more now, has become an elite defender for this Bucks team. And all these people who want to get Andre Drummond, who want to get Steven Adams, look at what Daniel Tice does in this one. There aren't many centers in the NBA who can put up an effort like this against the Bucks and their massive front line. Doesn't matter that he's 6'9", brings the tools, positioning, and skill to disrupt the Bucks defense. We talk so much about defending the Bucks. Who's going to guard Giannis? Who's going to get in front of Middleton in his shooting? It's really about the kind of shots you get off. Kemba Walker made great use of his minutes, hits this walk-off 3 before going into the bench for the final 18 minutes of this game due to his knee injuries. Even Jaylen Brown in this one struggled early, but massive shots late. He's able to get his shot in between against his defense. And this is what we saw from Brown in the preseason if you go back and watch my Thunder and Suns breakdowns. That mid-range, deep 2, even the 3, it's there for him going into this restart. And he is deadly. Giannis, though, ultimately, got to stop him at some point, especially in crunch time. Too much for Smart here. He goes 3 for 4 against Marcus Smart, who the Celtics tried as an option on him. Didn't work all that well. Tatum, interesting discussion. Wanamaker and Smart lead this key run in the third quarter. Smart goes on an 8-2 run of his own. Wanamaker completely undresses Sterling Brown on this play. And these two end up pushing a phenomenal bench effort in this one that made up some awful decisions, I thought, by Brad Stevens to put Enes Kanter in there in the fourth quarter and give up this string of 9 points in less than 2 minutes that derailed everything that Smart and Brad Wanamaker did before that. They cleaned all that up, so my only question, do you go to Brad Wanamaker in crunch time if you're Brad Stevens? Would be bold. Tatum has the length. He can defend Giannis. He's one of those guys. I think they made the right decision putting him back in there. But he misses 2 key shots before he gets this awesome dip-off to Daniel Tice. And would it be a game without talking about the freaking missed calls at the end of this one? 107-105. Joe Varden had a funny cut. He asked Mike Budenholzer about this MMA move that Giannis threw on Tice here. Enough for the refs to go and review it for a hostile act, which we think of as a punch, a fight. Those incidents are what bring that about. And if this happens in the flow of the game, you would almost be certain that would be a foul there at the very least. So this would have been Giannis' 6th foul. We don't even get into the block and charge that followed. They review it. Marcus Smart, tough words after this one. Said they just did it to keep Giannis in the game. And if they wanted the Bucks to win this one, it worked. Pick and roll. Middleton, Giannis, unstoppable. Where was that all night? I mean, that play is unstoppable. Middleton used it the play before to hit a spot-up 3 to boost the Bucks ahead by 6, and then this play just slammed the door on it. Block, charge, we'll go back to that play quick. I don't know, let me know in the comments. I'm not great at that call. It looks like Smart gets out of the circle, puts his left foot down, he's planted as Giannis makes collision. They call it a charge on the floor. Again, would have been Giannis' 6th foul before the play I just showed you. And ultimately, they call it a block. I think you need inconclusive evidence to overturn something. And I don't see a ton of it right there. Not as despicable as the Tice situation minute before. But again, puts this game in doubt. There was also a play, Gordon Hayward's shot was laying on the basket, gets tipped off the rim. Should have been a goaltending. Less consequential than those 2 plays. But a string of plays that take the Celtics out of this game when they defended, when they did the things on offense you need to do to beat the Bucks. Tougher to end in that fashion. Bucks win 119-112. Silver lining, I guess. Listen to this noise on this Jaylen Brown late shot. Brad Stevens said the Celtics need some noise.
Tice kicks it out. Jaylen Brown gets a good look. And that three-pointer's good.
I think that obliges. Anyway, Trailblazers, Celtics, please subscribe.
And that three-pointer's good.
Please give some thoughts on some of these plays, the game plan. Will this come back to haunt the Bucks in the playoffs? Or is this something that can vault them to the championship? How do the Celtics adjust off of this? I'm Bobby Manning. This is Watch the Breakdown. And I'll see you midweek.
And that three-pointer's good.